Hello everybody, my name is Nick. Today I want to show you one English class can help us speaking and listening very fast only in 1 month. I think so. Good luck to you.
Okay, welcome to the mini story for the obsessive behavior lesson. Let's get started. Kathy always obsesses about English. She constantly worries about taking the TOEFL test. When she worries, she always rubs her hands together. They are always chafed. Her friend, Gabriel, is the opposite. He always opts to remain relaxed. He always reprimands Kathy. Kathy, stop obsessing about English, damn it! Kathy never stands up to Gabriel directly. She just says, I'm sorry, please don't be mad. Then she says, but let's go to the library now and study English, please. Gabriel always nixes this idea. Hell no, we're not studying English. Kathy feels unsettled, but she says, hesitantly, okay. However, in her head, she silently starts to review English grammar. Then she feels much better. Okay, again, this time with questions. Back to the top. Kathy always obsesses about English. Does she think about English all the time? Yes, that's right. She always thinks about English. Does she think about English in the morning? Yeah, that's right. She always obsesses about English in the morning. Does she think about English during the day? Yes, that's right. She's obsessing about English, right? Always obsesses about English. So she thinks about English in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, before she goes to sleep. She obsesses about English. Does she obsess about French? No. She doesn't care about French. She doesn't always think about French. She obsesses about English. Who always obsesses about English? Well, Kathy always obsesses about English. Does Gabriel always obsess about English? No. Gabriel doesn't always obsess about English. Kathy always obsesses about English. She constantly worries about taking the TOEFL test. Does she obsess about the TOEFL test? Yes, she's always obsessed with the TOEFL test. She always obsesses about the TOEFL test. When she worries, she always rubs her hands together. Right? She's always rubbing her hands together when she worries about English, when she obsesses about English. Because she always rubs her hands together, they are always chafed. Are her hands always red? Yes, that's right. Her hands are always chafed. The skin is always red. Is the skin always a little painful? Yeah, that's right. Her hands are always chafed, so her hands are always a little painful. The skin is painful. The skin is a little bit red. Why are her hands always chafed? Well, they're always chafed because she rubs them together when she worries about English. Are they chafed because she washes her hands too much? No, that's not why they're chafed. Her hands are not chafed because she washes her hands too much. They're chafed because she rubs her hands together too much. They're chafed because she rubs her hands together. That's why they're red and painful. Now, her friend Gabriel is the opposite. He always opts to remain relaxed. Does he choose to remain relaxed? Yeah, that's right. He opts to be relaxed. He chooses to be relaxed. To opt to means to choose. Now, we usually use opt to with an action. Opt to run. Opt to go shopping. Opt to stay relaxed. It goes with a verb. If you're choosing two things, if you have a red phone and a blue phone, you don't say, I opt the red phone. You might say, I opt for the red phone. If you say that, then it's okay. But usually we use it with verbs. You opt to do something. I opt to buy the red phone. We would say that. That would be okay. So he opts to stay relaxed. Does Kathy opt to stay relaxed? Does she choose to be relaxed? No, Kathy does not opt to stay relaxed. She always opts to be worried. She always obsesses about English. But Gabriel opts to remain relaxed. He chooses to remain relaxed. And he always reprimands Kathy. Does he criticize Kathy's obsession? Obsession's a noun. Does he criticize Kathy's obsession, Kathy's worrying? Yeah, that's right. He reprimands Kathy. Does he tell her she's wrong, that she's doing something bad? Yeah, that's right. He reprimands Kathy. He tells her, stop obsessing about English. Damn it. Right? He reprimands her. He criticizes her and tells her she's doing something wrong. Does Gabriel reprimand his mother? No, Gabriel does not reprimand his mother. Who does Gabriel reprimand? Gabriel reprimands Kathy. Why does he reprimand Kathy? Well, he reprimands Kathy because she worries about English too much. She obsesses about English. Does he reprimand Kathy all the time? Well, no, he doesn't reprimand Kathy all the time. When does he reprimand Kathy? Well, he reprimands Kathy when she talks about English, when she wants to study English, and when she rubs her hands together. Then he reprimands her. How does he reprimand her? What does he say? Well, he reprimands her by saying, Kathy, stop obsessing about English, damn it. But Kathy never stands up to Gabriel. Does Kathy argue with Gabriel? No, she does not stand up to Gabriel. Does she disagree with Gabriel directly? No, she never says something to him. She never disagrees. She never argues. She does not stand up to Gabriel. Does Kathy stand up to other people? Well, we don't know. Maybe she stands up to other people. Maybe she will argue with her mom or her other friends. But she won't stand up to Gabriel. When Gabriel reprimands her, does she stand up to him? No, she doesn't. She does not stand up to Gabriel. He says, stop obsessing about English. Well, she doesn't argue with him. What does she say? Since she doesn't stand up to him, she just says, I'm sorry. Please don't be mad. But then later she says, let's go to the library now and study English, please. Gabriel gets angry. He always nixes this idea. Does Gabriel agree with the idea? No, he nixes the idea, right? He shoots the idea down. He destroys the idea. He immediately says no. He says, no, we are not studying English. He nixes the idea. Does he nix all of Kathy's ideas? No, he doesn't nix all of Kathy's ideas. He only nixes her idea to study English. When she wants to study English, he always nixes the idea. He always says no immediately. No, we're not studying English. Does Gabriel nix Bob's idea? No. He doesn't nix Bob's idea. He nixes Kathy's idea, right? Gabriel nixes Kathy's idea, not Bob's idea. And when he nixes her idea, what does he say? Well, Gabriel always nixes the idea and says, hell no, we're not studying English. How does Kathy feel when this happens? Well, Kathy feels unsettled, right? She feels a little strange, a little uncomfortable. Does she feel very, very, very upset? No, she doesn't. She feels just unsettled, a little upset. And then when she feels unsettled, she says hesitantly, okay, it's okay. However, in her head, silently in her head, she is thinking about grammar, and she is reviewing English grammar. Then she feels much better. When she says okay, does she say it strongly and quickly? No, she does not. She says it hesitantly. She stops and she starts. She's not sure. She says, oh, okay. She says it hesitantly, right? When Kathy says okay, she does not say it directly. She says it very, very hesitantly. What does she say hesitantly? Well, she says, okay, hesitantly. All right. So let's go back to the top again. And this time I'm going to pause after key phrases. Please copy my pronunciation. Remember, this is not just repeating words. Repeating words does not help. You need to copy my pronunciation. When I go up, you should go up. When I go down, you should go down. Copy my intonation very carefully. Okay, let's go to the top. Here we go. Kathy always obsesses about English. Good. Kathy always obsesses about English. She constantly worries about taking the TOEFL test. When she worries, she always rubs her hands together. They are always chafed. Good. They are always chafed. Her friend Gabriel is the opposite. He always opts to remain relaxed. He always opts to remain relaxed. Good. He always reprimands Kathy. He always reprimands Kathy. He says, "Stop obsessing about English, damn it." He says, "Stop obsessing about English, damn it." Good. Kathy never stands up to Gabriel. Kathy never stands up to Gabriel. She just says, "I'm sorry, don't be mad." Then she says, "But, let's go to the library now and study English, please." Gabriel always nixes this idea. Gabriel always nixes this idea. He says, "Hell no, we're not studying English." Kathy feels unsettled. Kathy feels unsettled. But she says, hesitantly, okay. But she says, hesitantly, okay. However, in her head, quietly, she starts to review English grammar. Then she feels much better. Okay, that is all for this mini story. Please pause now and try to tell all of the story yourself. Say it out loud, not silently. Say it out loud, speak it out loud. Try to tell all of the story using the new vocabulary and also using the correct pronunciation, the correct intonation. If this is difficult, if you cannot do it, no problem. Just listen again, listen again, listen again. Listening is most important. Okay, good luck. On to the point of view mini stories. Bye-bye. Welcome to the vocabulary lesson for obsessive behavior. Let's get started. In the headline, we see the title, Parents Deny Probable Cause of Son's Obsessive Behavior. To deny is to say something is wrong or you don't believe it. So if you deny the cause, it means you won't listen to the cause or you say the cause is wrong. That's not the cause, that's not the cause. You're denying it. You're saying, no, it's not true. No, it's not true. That's to deny, to deny. Okay, and then probable means probable cause. You probably know probably, right? That's an adverb, probably. But probable is the adjective. So probable cause means the likely cause. It means it's not 100%, but maybe, 90%, we're sure 90% that this is the cause. Okay, and then what are we talking about? The cause of what? We're talking about the cause of their son's obsessive behavior. So behavior is how you act. Obsessive. Obsessive is to do something too much. You focus on only one thing. Now, it can be a verb, to obsess. To obsess, it means you focus on one thing and you think about it all the time. For example, if I obsess about studying English, it means every day I think about English. I wake up in the morning, I'm thinking about English. Must study English. At lunchtime, I'm thinking about English. Must study English. You only think about this. That's the verb to obsess. If you use it as an adjective, we say obsessive. So obsessive behavior means doing something all the time. For example, somebody washes their hands a lot. Like every 5 minutes, they wash their hands. And then they touch something on a desk. They wash their hands again. Then they touch a person. They wash their hands again. They're washing their hands all the time. This is obsessive behavior. It's doing one thing too much or all the time. Okay, and then in the first paragraph of the letter, we say that a woman says that her nephew has problems with obsessive hand washing. That's what I just described. Obsessive hand washing means you wash your hands all the time, much too much. You're always doing it again and again and again and again. Obsessive hand washing. Nephew, what's a nephew? A nephew is your sister's son or your brother's son. That's a nephew. Okay, so this nephew, he has obsessive hand washing. He washes his hands much too much. And then in the, she says, I think he needs professional help. He needs somebody to help him. I suspect means I think in this case. She strongly suspects that he suffers from obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. To suspect means to think. It means you're not sure, but you think probably this is happening. And obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, it's a kind of a mental illness, mental sickness, where you constantly, always do something again and again and again. Hand washing is a common example. But you're always thinking about one thing and doing one thing. Maybe this kid thinks about cleanliness, always wants to be clean, and he always washes his hands. So if you do that too much, if it's really, really, really too much all the time, if it's kind of crazy, then we might say the person has obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. All right, and then she said her brother and his wife refuse to believe their child has a problem. So again, refuse is a little bit like deny. Refuse means to say no to something. Usually when you refuse, it's because of a request. You say, I won't do something, right? Somebody wants you to do something, but you won't do it. You say, no, I won't do it. That's refuse. You refuse to do it. In this case, they refuse to believe. So we usually refuse to do something, refuse to think something, refuse to believe something. All right, so you deny a situation, you deny information, but you refuse an action. That's how they're different. All right, and then in the next sentence, she says, my nephew's hands are chafed and raw. Chafed means very rough. It means if you rub your hands together, right? You're rubbing your hands together very fast. Together, rubbing together. If you do that a very, very long time, your hands will start to hurt, right? Your hands become red. Maybe they get a crack. Maybe they start to bleed, right? It becomes painful if you do it too long. Well, that's called chafed. It means your skin is hurt from rubbing, from moving against something else. So it's not like scratched. It's similar to scratched, but scratched is usually like one line, right? Scratched with a knife, scratched with scissors. It's one thin line. Chafed usually is a larger area, like a bigger area, like all of your hands can be chafed, or part of your legs can be chafed. It's rubbing against your pants, maybe, and rubbing, the skin becomes red, the skin hurts a little bit. We call that chafed. And sometimes we'll say the skin is raw. The skin is raw in this situation. And that, again, that also means the skin is very red and painful. So chafed and raw are quite similar. Okay, and then she says that the boy's parents reprimand him for his behavior when he really needs help. To reprimand is a little bit like criticizing, but it's a little different. When someone does something wrong, you reprimand them. So to reprimand means to tell somebody they did something wrong. So you say, "Stop washing your hands so much. That's bad." Okay, I reprimanded him. Or maybe you steal money, and then I tell you, "That's bad. You stole the money. You should not do that." Okay, I'm reprimanding you. Reprimanding is different than punish. Punishing is you actually do something to the person. But reprimand, or to reprimand, just means you say something. Okay, it's only talking. So that's how reprimand and punishment are different. All right, and then finally, last paragraph, she says, his mother's the biggest problem. She nixes all issues that suggest a problem. And my brother will not stand up to her. Okay, to nix, N-I-X, to nix something. To nix means to, it's kind of like to destroy it, or eliminate it, or get rid of it. And usually it means somebody makes a suggestion, and then you shoot the suggestion, right? We sometimes say shoot it down. You immediately you say, "No, this is not true. No, we will not do it." Okay, you are nixing the idea. You are nixing the suggestion. You're immediately saying no and denying it and refusing to do it. That's to nix. So when it says she nixes all issues that suggest a problem, it means she immediately and quickly says no anytime somebody says their son has a problem. So they say, "Look, I think your son might have a problem." Immediately she says, "No, he does not have a problem. Absolutely not. There is no problem." Okay, that's to nix, to immediately deny something, to immediately say no to any suggestion. Okay, and finally, she says her brother will not stand up to his wife. To stand up to is a common phrase in English. To stand up to means to go against somebody, maybe argue with them, maybe fight them. But it means you will not be bullied. You won't let somebody else push you around or make you do something. If you stand up to someone, it means somebody else is strong, but you will go against them. You will disagree. You will tell them they're wrong. That's to stand up to somebody. And we sometimes use it in the negative. If you say, he won't stand up to his wife, it means he always says yes to his wife. If his wife says, "Wash the dishes now," he will say, "Yes, yes, okay." And if she says, "Take out the garbage," he says, "Yes, yes, okay." And if she says, "You're stupid, you're ugly," he will say, "Oh, I'm sorry. Right? He won't stand up to her. He won't go against her. He won't argue with her. He won't fight with her. If he does fight with her, if she says, "You're ugly and stupid," and then he says, "Don't call me ugly and stupid. Don't ever say that again, damn it." Okay, now he is standing up to her, right? And you can picture it in your head. To stand up to someone means you stand tall.